Hello, everyone. Welcome. So glad you guys are joining me today. Oh my goodness, we have a super fun project for you today. I love to create boxes. There is just some of them out taking a piece of cardstock and manipulating it and going, how did I take this flat piece of paper and turn it into this really cool box? And I think Stampin' Up! Cardstock is such a great quality cardstock. It really does create really fantastic boxes, good sturdy boxes. Today we're going to be creating some snack cake boxes, and I've got a couple different versions to share with you, so you can create it for all kinds of different occasions. I'm really excited to teach these to you, so we're going to go ahead and head over to my stamping table, and I'm going to show you how to create a snack cake box. Are you ready? Okay, here we go, my friends. I do have a free download for you. I'd love for you guys to head over to simplysimplestamping.com after the live is over. You'll be able to get this. What's great with this is you're going to have all my supplies, the measurements for both my boxes. If you need to come back and watch the video again, you can either click or scan right here and you'll be able to watch the video again. And of course, if you need to order any supplies, you can click right there. I would love to be your Stampin' Up! Demonstrator. We've got some great things to share with you in our video today. So let me get this out of my way and I'm going to show you the box that we're going to create. So I thought, you know what, Thanksgiving right around the corner. And I just thought this little box was going to be perfect. It says, you are such a blessing. And inside it says, wishing you the loveliest day. And look what we have. My favorite thing in the world, Little Debbie snack cakes. These were some that were specially made for fall. In fact, let me show you here real quick. So God bless Little Debbie. She's so awesome. So you can get them with kind of a vanilla or chocolate icing. And you get 10 snack cakes, but you're going to get 2, or 10. I'm sorry, I'm going to try that again. 5 of the double packs in each box. So, they're really kind of a nice little affordable thing. If you've got any fall parties coming up for your kids or grandkids' school, this is going to be a really fun thing. So, yeah, that's the Little Debbie snack cakes we're going to use here. Now, let's go ahead and talk about the stamp set we're going to use. I chose Hello Harvest. I love this stamp set because it really is going to serve a lot of different purposes. First of all, sunflowers, that's going to be a year-round thing, right? Wishing you the loveliest day and you're a blessing. Hello, all of that. You're missed. All great all year long sentiments. And so, yeah, you're going to be able to keep this stamp set out. You're not going to have to put it away. We're also going to use the matching dies that come with this. This is the rustic pumpkins. So if you want to bring in the matching dies, you can, but remember, it's all really about the box. We just want to focus there on the box. So here we go. Let me move these out of the way, and we're going to start. Oh, you know what? Let me go over the supplies because I want to make sure. I know some of you want to create along with me, and I'd love to have you do that. So let's talk about it. I'm going to be using Cajun Craze, but remember, I said today is all about just creating a box. I just want you to get comfortable making the box. So any color cardstock you want to do, you're going to be able to decorate at the end. So you pick your favorite color. Cajun Craze, and this is 7 3/4 by 9 1/4. I'll show you all the scoring we're going to do on that here in a minute. I have got 2 pieces of identical cardstock. This is crushed curly. Oh my goodness, I can't talk today. Crushed curry and early espresso. Oh my goodness, need a lot more coffee to get through today. By the way, these are both cut 2.5 by 5. Now I'm going to bring in another piece. This is actually just a scrap of crushed curry. Mine is a 2.5 by 3, but that is so we can cut this image right here. So again, just some scrap. And then we're going to need some berry vanilla. This one is a 2 1/4 by 4 3/4. And again, this one is some scrap, 2.5 by 3.5. And that's going to be for our sentiment on the inside. So not lots that we have to have, just some using up some scraps. That's always good. So let's go ahead and talk about the scoring. You can do your scoring on your Simply Scored board, or you can use your paper trimmer. I love to use my Simply Scored board. It's one of my favorites. So whichever way you like to score, we're going to go with that method. Okay. So I'm going to start. And by the way, this is all in the download for you. So Don't worry about writing this down. It's all on there. So we are going to take the 7 3/4 inch side, and we want that up at the top. We are going to score this at 1 1/4 and again at 6 1/2. All right. Now we're going to rotate this around, and let's bring that 9 1/4 inch up at the top. And we've got several. We got 4 scores we're going to do here. Ready? We are going to go 1 1/4 and then 4 inches, 5 1/4 and 8. That is all you really need to know about your box. I mean, that was pretty easy, right? We love that. Let me move this out of the way. And now we're going to do just a little bit of cutting. And let me tell you, this part is really, really easy. And we are going to do some cutting. See these 3 squares? And we've got them here. So we've got 6 little squares. Well, what we want to do is we want to do a cut just right here on this square. So we want these squares. All the squares are going to be our tabs, okay? So tabs, just like that, all right? And we're going to do that. Remember, don't cut this one off. So the ones here on the ends, you're just doing the one cut, all right? Now, one of the other things, when you're cutting, a lot of you guys ask me, do I cut on the score line, to the right, to the left? I always like to cut the score line off. So for instance, here in the middle, this one I'm going to cut to the right of the score line. Here, I'm going to cut to the left. And I don't mean a lot, okay? We're just going to cut so that it's cutting it off, but make sure you're not cutting too close. So can you see what we've done there? That's easy enough. We're going to do a little bit of mitering because we like to make our boxes go together nice, don't we? So I'm going to do a little, I always call it a piece of pizza or piece of pie, whatever is your favorite. And I'm going to cut, can you see I'm going to cut from the inside to that outside corner. So yeah, we're just going to cut this off. Now this part is important, that you only should be cutting on those little squares. This is your actual box. So the little tabs, that's the only thing you guys should be cutting on. All right. So let's see what you guys are saying while I cut. Oh, let's see. Missy from Tennessee must have had some surgery. It says praying for a speedy recovery. I'm so sorry, Missy. You know what? We're dealing with it in our house too. My daughter, Jenny, had an emergency appendectomy. Oh my goodness. On Tuesday night. Yeah. So we spent most of the day in the ER and then surgery that night. That was not how I expected to spend my day. She's recovering well, but you know, it kind of threw her for a loop. We always prefer, if we have to have these kinds of procedures, it would be nice to plan, but you know what? Appendectomies, it's always an emergency, right? It's when it happens, it happens. But anyway, we're going to get this last, let me get this last little tab here. All right, there we go. So can you see we've got these little mitered tabs, whoops, here, here, and here, all right? And we're going to do one more little thing before we start to put this box together. So let me show you right here. So I've got a little, just kind of a little thumb hole, you know, because you want to be able to open the box. You don't want to have to try to. So you always want a little circle punch or some kind of punch right here. So you've got options. If you have a circle punch, you can take a little nip out. And by the way, if yours is bigger, it's fine. It can be bigger than this. If you've got even a 2-inch circle, you're just going to take a nip. But you know what? I decided to come in with my, what is this? The best late? No, lasting labels, I believe. This is, oh, you know what? I may have said that wrong. You know what? I want to share a tip though, before I punch that. Let me bring this Simply Scoreboard back in, because if you guys are like me, I struggle finding the center. So let me show you what I'm going to do. The center of this is 7 3/4. So the center of that is going to be 3 7/8. And see how I'm just going to make a little tick mark. By the way, I'm going to be punching it off, so I'm not worried about it showing. But let me show you what we can do. Then you could draw that little tick mark. Again, we're going to cut it off. But I'm going to take my punch. And let me zoom in here because I want you guys to be able to see. So I'm lining it up right there with the edge of the punch. Can you see? And I've centered that little notch in there. And boom, look at that. I now have a notch for opening my little box. So we do want to do that before we start to put it together, because let me tell you, trying to make that little notch after you put it together is not an easy thing. I speak from experience. All right. Oh, you guys are sending speedy recovery wishes for Jenny. Thank you. I know she's going to appreciate that. Like I said, just was not part of the plan, and she's a senior at University of Oklahoma right now. So I'm very grateful that there are such things as Zoom classes, because, you know, I don't want her to get behind. She's studying special education, and I want her to be able to keep up with her classes. But right now, the pain medications are not going to allow her to do that. So, oh, I think you can see, guys, I'm just taking my bone folder, and I want to give all of these score lines a good crease, because boxes, I just am not a fan of just folding and creasing like this, because boxes, we want them to have those nice harsh edges. All right, this is where we're at. So I'm going to go ahead and show you now how we're going to put the box together. You can use your favorite adhesive. I'm actually going to just use some Tombow glue for this, but you can use your favorite adhesive here. And what I want to do, less is more with glue. I tend to get a little sloppy with glue, but I do want to get it really close to that score line, okay? Because we don't want the box to gape open at all there. And really, I'm just going around the edges, all right? So I'm going to fold that in, and I'm going to bring that tab up, and it's as simple as just lining up those two ends to make sure they meet nice and pretty right here. And I'll do the same thing on this one. Judy says, I think having the notch, oh gosh, now you're going to try to make me say that word. Aesthetically, I'm telling you, my brain's not working today. It does look really nice. I agree. It kind of makes it look more polished and more professional. We're going to put some glue here now on this tab that, oops, I got some glue there. Let's get that off of there. Oh my goodness, it's been such a crazy week here, and it's only Thursday. We're going to put our adhesive right here on these tabs, and this is important. These tabs, by the way, can you see where my notch is? That is not going to be the box. That's going to be the lid. Because what's really cool about this box is it's all one piece. It's not a two-piece box. It's not a box and a lid. It's hinged together. So we're going to put that one together. And I'm sure you're starting to see now exactly how that box is going to come together. Now we can take the lid tabs and we can adhere those down. Pain meds seem to make people feel loopy. I'm not into her pain meds, but maybe I'm just having sympathy pain meds for her. I'm not going to lie. When she was in surgery, I literally was having sympathy pains. Is that something that just the mom does? But yeah, I was just, you know, it's just really hard. Okay, I'm going to tell you a funny story. Well, it's not funny. It was actually quite scary. We're in the waiting room. She's in surgery. But the doctors come back, and he said everything went fine. And, you know, they caught the infected appendix early, so no worry about it bursting or anything. So, okay, we were great. He leaves. We're sitting there, and all of a sudden we hear code blue, day surgery, code blue. And we're like, code blue's the bad one. And all of a sudden my husband just turns white as a ghost. He was terrified. I felt so bad for him. And anyway, he immediately pops up, heads over to where the surgery room was, standing outside those doors that they don't want you to go through. And the nurse comes out and she says, I had a feeling you may have heard that, so I wanted to come out and let you know it's fine. It's not Jenny. So, but to whoever it was, no, that is not a good thing. Code blue is not what you want to hear. But yeah, it sure gave us a little startle there. All right, we're going to take that piece of Very Vanilla. This was the 2 1/4 by 4 3/4. Now, like I said, this is going to be a blessing box. And actually, I thought about making these for the staff up at the hospital. They were so nice. They gave Jenny such good care, and they were really kind. So I just thought, you know what, you can't really bring homemade food. So I just thought these would be awesome. These would be just great to take. And you know what? I mean, I have these or I have chocolate. So yeah, I've even got options for them. All right. So there is a stamping that I want to do on the Very Vanilla. And you know what? While I have that out, I'm going to bring in the crushed curry and those gorgeous sunflowers. So I'm going to ink these up. Let's stamp that. Remember, this piece was just scrap. So whatever, you know, oops, I hit the edge. Not a problem because I'm going to be die cutting that. So let's see. You know what? I've got one more thing I need to stamp. How about we just get our stamping done? Would that be good? Now let's stamp wishing you the loveliest day. And we'll put that right here on our scrap of Very Vanilla. We've got a little bit more stamping to do. And like I said, I think I want to go ahead and get all the stamping done. So I'm going to take the crushed curry and I'm going to bring in my crushed curry ink pad now. And I am going to take the leaf from this stamp set. And let me show you what I'm going to do. I'm going to stamp a leaf here. I'm going to stamp a leaf right on top of it. And another one right there. All right. We're going to be hiding some of that. So I'm not too concerned if, you know, it overlaps. In fact, I'll go ahead and show you what we're going to do. I have die cut. I went ahead and die cut the sentiment. So let's put some glue here. By the way, now you can use your Stampin' Seal as well. But we're going to add that right here. Okay. This is where I can just sign, you know, just my name or because, you know, your sentiment wishing you a lovely day. Well, you're there. Now, we would adhere this down, but I'm going to be honest. Don't adhere it down until you've signed it because it's not easy to sign when it's in the box. So you do want to wait until you've signed it. Let's pretend we have. All right. And we're just going to put a little bit of adhesive right there. And this is going to go inside the lid. So make sure you're putting that inside the lid, just like that. Okay. You know, just for fun, let's go ahead and get our snack cakes in there. But don't you love? It just fits so nice and pretty. I know not everyone has Little Debbie's where they live, but I hope you can find something that will fit. I know there's different brands out there. We're going to adhere the early espresso and the Very Vanilla together. So let's see what you guys are saying while I do some gluing here. You know, it's always a challenge to see if I can read and glue at the same time. Yes, the tutorial, the download is not quite up yet. It'll be up shortly. Let's see, probably in about 10 to 12 minutes that'll be up. So that comes up at 11:30 Central Time. So, all right, there is the sentiment for the front. We're going to add this to the front of our box. I mean, can you see how fast and easy this little box was? Oh my goodness. And I mean, I realize I had things pre-die cut for you, but you know, that really just takes seconds as well. Okay, remember this? Well, I did go ahead and die cut that as well. All right, so it's die cut and ready to go. I'm going to add that with some Stampin' Dimensionals. So I think Stampin' Dimensionals make everything gorgeous. But you know what? Before I adhere that down, can I show you something? What if you wanted to make that a pumpkin box instead? Remember, the dies, the pumpkin actually came right here from the dies. So it's nice to know that you have options. So we can either add our sunflowers or, like I'm going to do here, I'm going to add my little pumpkin. So let me go ahead and do that. Oh, you know what? Just for the sake of time, I'll just use some glue. But this, I think, would be really cute. I've got Stampin' Dimensionals underneath this top layer. So, but that looks really cute too. Now we want to dress this up, right? We love to dress things up. So let me show you. I'm going to go ahead and bring in my original so you can kind of see what my original looked like as I work. But the first thing I want to do is I'm going to add a little bit of linen thread, and I'm going to add that here in the corner. Now this one I added in this corner, but it was a little busy over there. So I'm going to grab a mini glue dot. And this is one of my favorite little tips. I've got it here on my finger and I'm going to roll it up into a teeny tiny little ball. And I'm going to add that right up here at the top of this little decorative stamp that came. in the Happy Harvest, but we can add that linen thread bow right there. I just think it just adds a little something. But you know how much I love bling. So we're going to bring in some bling now. Take your pick tool because it makes things easy. I'm going to use these little ones. And the first one I'm going to add is right here up at the other end of that little decorative corner piece. And now let's just kind of fill in. Like I said, I think these are going to just be super nice to take up to the hospital staff. You know, those guys, the one nurse that we had, she had been there since 5:30 and it was very late when we were getting out of there. It was well past 9 before we left the hospital. So those nurses and doctors, boy, they work hard, don't they? Oh, you guys are saying you thumbed up. Thank you for thumbing up my video. I appreciate it. So that is how you can create a sweet little blessing box. And like I said, we have the 2 different kinds of the Little Debbie snack cake, but look how well the chocolate ones look with that layer of early espresso. So whichever ones you go with, you can't go wrong, right? But there's something more you need to know. Those aren't the only things that'll fit inside these boxes. So let me show you what else we have. Like I said, we're here in the United States and we have Little Debbie, but they had these snickerdoodle cream pies. They had these pumpkin delight cookies. They're a little creepy looking, but let me show you what those look like. Whoops, where did they go? So here are the pumpkins. They really are just a little on the creepy side. But I wanted you guys to see that these 2 of these fit inside the box as well. So if you wanted to make it kind of a little Halloween treat, maybe for the grandkids, those little pumpkin, they're not pumpkin cookies, but are they? Maybe they are. I can't see the box now because I put it down on the floor, but that is an option. The other thing that you can do, let me take these out, and that were the snickerdoodles. One of my favorite cookies are snickerdoodles, and 2 of those fit in there as well. So yeah, you've got a lot of different options of things you can put inside. So get a little creative with that. Now I want to share with you another fun idea that you can do with this box. So let me move everything here because this one came out really, really cute. This little piggy says happy birthday. And inside, get ready, we have a birthday in a box. Look at this. I've got candles. I've got a balloon. I've got a, one of those things. And look at these snack cakes. They are actually birthday cakes. Oh my goodness. And it's, yeah, they're quite tasty. Whether it's your birthday or not, these are great. Now this box, you see, I took vertical instead of horizontal. And I have room to write my message here as well. Use that little piggy stamp set. By the way, if you ordered the matching dies, they were available in September. Look at that with the die on it. Oh my gosh, that's so cute. So you could add that as well if you die cut your little pig and added some sequins on it. And yeah, I just think this with the little candles, my balloon, my little, what do they call these things? I guess just a little noisemaker, but it's just kind of fun. Fun way to give a birthday surprise to maybe a coworker. Sometimes you just want to do something, but it's not like you want to go out and spend a fortune, right? And this one, you can see I did a little bit of blending with the Bashful Blue blending brush. And here's what's nice is I blended that very lightly, by the way. But then I was able to color the pig with the Flirty Flamingo Stampin' Blends, and you can't really see the blue that is underneath. So that worked out really well. I just think this one is so cute. And of course, those snack cakes are adorable. And who wouldn't get excited to see a little birthday in a box, right? So much fun. And you guys, let's face it, creating those boxes, super, super fast and easy, right? One sheet of cardstock, and then however you want to decorate it, you're ready to go. So I hope that you guys are going to give these little boxes a try. Judy says, all great ideas. Thank you for sharing. Oh, and then R. Fowler says, instead of gift bags at kids' parties too. Absolutely. Wouldn't that be fun to give at a kid's birthday party, right? I know, party favors, just little thank yous, whatever you need. And these little cakes, who doesn't love them, right? They're just one of my favorite things. Okay, really quick before I go, I want to share with you what we're going to be creating next. Not next week. I need to be very clear. Next week, in fact, let me do this real quick. Let me come over and tell you this before I show you the projects. Next, on the 13th, October 13th, I will not be live because we're kicking off the Creative 8 Fall Retreat on the 14th. So it's going to be a really crazy day getting everything ready for an amazing, fabulous, fun stamping weekend. If you're not registered, please head over to simplysimplestamping.com. Look for the Creative 8 registration in the blue menu. Join us. It is going to be a blast. I mean, who doesn't need an entire weekend of stamping? We're going to start on Friday night. We've got 37 tutorials in all waiting for you. I mean, hello. Mystery stamping, 9 live presentations. So you can join us live at the top of every hour. And then we'll do 2 on Friday and the rest on Saturday. So I'd love to have you. Hey, if you've been to a retreat, go ahead and let us know what you think there in the comments. I believe this is our 11th retreat. We do one each quarter. And so we've got a lot of holiday ideas for you. Speaking of holidays, we're going to come back over to my table so I can show you the cards. But like I said, we're going to take the 20th or we're going to take the 13th off. And then we're coming back on the 20th to create these cards. Now, this is really, it's a really cool thing. I'm going to show you how to take strips of cardstock, okay? Just have some fun with some strips of cardstock, whether this is scraps or you just create them. But I have the most amazing trick up my sleeve because you're going to create a full 8.5 by 11 sheet of this background paper, right? So we're going to kind of create our own custom designer series paper. And then we're going to do a little die cut here. And then from that die cut, we're going to create a second card. I love to take what I'm using here before I die cut. What am I going to do with it? And I brought it over here. 2 fabulous Christmas cards. And I love the gold. I love the gold along with the real red and shaded spruce. So I'm going to show you how to create these. But more than anything, I want you to learn how to create this background. It is so much fun and it's really relaxing. But I've got 2 more cards because maybe you've already done your Christmas cards. Well, you know what? We could also create some baby cards. Look at that. So I did the exact same thing, only I used balmy blue, Highland Heather, and mint macaron, and some very vanilla. And look at that. But I used what I die cut here, the circle, and I created a second card. I'll never forget your kindness. So we went from a baby card to a thank you card. Look at that. Such fun options. I hope you guys will join me. Remember, that is October 20th. Love to have you join us for that. And with that, my friends, I'm going to wrap things up. Go check on Jenny. Make sure she's doing well. Thank you guys so much for being a part of the video today. Go bless somebody with a little blessing box. Or create some for the upcoming holiday. Don't forget, I mean, it's not too soon to start thinking about like those Valentine parties that are coming up. You could go ahead and get those boxes all ready to go. So thank you again for being here. If you liked the video, I would love a thumbs up on YouTube. Thank you. And if you haven't subscribed, be sure to click the red subscribe button so YouTube can let you know whenever I'm back with a new video. Make it a fantastic week, my friends. Love you. See you next time. Bye-bye.